You aren't addicted to thinking. You are addicted to avoiding what you might feel if the thinking finally stopped. Welcome to the paradox of modern productivity. We often wear our busyness like a badge of honor, a medal proving our worth in a fast-paced world. But have you ever stopped to ask yourself why silence feels so loud? Why, the moment you put down your phone or close your laptop, a creeping sense of anxiety begins to claw your chest? We are going to explore the psychological cost of staying busy, not as a habit of high achievers, but as a sophisticated trauma response known as flight. It is a flight not from a physical predator, but from the shadows within your own mind.
Let's distinguish between being productive and merely being in motion. True productivity is intentional. It is the act of creating value. Busyness, on the other hand, is often just noise. It is the obsessive checking of emails, the relentless scrolling through feeds, the mental rehearsing of conversations that haven't happened yet. This state of constant mental churn provides a steady drip of dopamine, giving you the illusion that you are moving forward. But in reality, you are running on a treadmill. You are sweating, you are exhausted, and your muscles are burning, but you haven't actually gone anywhere. You are simply burning energy to keep the stillness at bay. In psychology, the flight response is part of our survival instinct. When a saber-toothed tiger appeared, our ancestors ran. Today, the tigers are gone, but the threat remains. Only now, the threat is internal. It is a memory you haven't processed, a grief you haven't mourned, or a deep-seated feeling of inadequacy. Because you cannot run away from your own psyche physically, you run mentally. You overschedule your days. You fill every gap of silence with a podcast or music. You become a workaholic, not because you love the work, but because the work is the only place where you don't have to feel yourself.
Think about the last time you were truly alone with your thoughts, without any distraction. No phone, no book, no television. For many, this scenario induces a state of panic. This is because silence acts as a vacuum, and nature abhors a vacuum. When the noise of the world stops, the noise of the soul begins. That suppressed sadness, that lingering shame, that fear of failure, they all wait for these quiet moments to rise to the surface. To avoid this ambush, you ensure that the silence never comes. You stay busy until you pass out from exhaustion, bypassing the critical window where emotional processing naturally occurs.
This behavior creates a biological loop. When you are constantly rushing, your body produces cortisol and adrenaline, the stress hormones. Over time, your baseline for what feels normal shifts. You actually become chemically addicted to your own stress. Peace begins to feel boring, or worse, unsafe. If you aren't worrying about something, your brain scans the horizon to find a new problem to fixate on. You are not just avoiding emotions, you are feeding a chemical dependency on urgency. You have trained your nervous system to believe that safety lies in hypervigilance and that resting is dangerous.
Society applauds this trauma response. We call it high functioning. We praise the person who works 60 hours a week, who manages 3 side hustles, who is always available. We mistake their inability to sit still for ambition. But if we look closer, we often see a hollow structure. This is the high-functioning anxiety trap. On the outside, everything looks perfect. The bills are paid, the career is advancing, the body is fit. But inside, there is a desolate landscape where joy cannot take root, because joy requires presence, and you are never truly present. You are always 5 steps ahead, planning the next escape route.
What is it exactly that lies beneath the busyness? Often, it is what psychologists call the shadow self, or the void. It might be the realization that you are in the wrong career, or that you are lonely despite being surrounded by people, or perhaps it is a childhood wound that never healed. By staying busy, you keep a lid on this Pandora's box. You tell yourself, "I'll deal with that later." But later never comes. The backlog of unprocessed emotions grows heavier every day, requiring more and more energy to keep suppressed. It is like holding a beach ball underwater. Eventually, your arms will tire, and it will shoot up with explosive force.
And then the crash happens. We often label it as burnout and blame it on our workload. But true burnout is rarely just about the volume of tasks. It is about the emotional energy required to repress your true self while performing those tasks. The crash forces you to stop. Your body says no more. You might get sick, you might fall into a depression, or you might simply lose the will to continue the charade. This breakdown, painful as it is actually a breakthrough waiting to happen. It is your psyche's way of pulling the emergency brake because you refuse to use the regular brakes.
Healing begins with radical awareness. It starts by catching yourself in the act. When you feel that urge to pick up your phone at a red light, pause. Ask yourself, what am I trying to avoid feeling right now? When you impulsively sign up for another project, ask, am I doing this for growth or for distraction? You must become the observer of your own anxiety. You have to learn to sit with the discomfort of doing nothing. At first, it will feel excruciating, like an itch you aren't allowed to scratch. But this discomfort is the gateway to your freedom.
You cannot think your way out of a problem created by overthinking. You must feel your way out. This is where somatic experiencing comes in. Instead of analyzing your anxiety, feel where it lives in your body. Is it a tightness in your throat, a knot in your stomach, a heaviness in your chest? By focusing on the physical sensation rather than the mental story, you allow the energy to move. Emotions are simply energy in motion. They only become toxic when they are trapped. Give yourself permission to feel without judgment, without labeling the feeling as bad or wrong.
As you practice stillness, the backlog will begin to clear. You might find yourself crying over a commercial, or feeling a sudden wave of anger, or remembering a dream vividly. This is good. This is the pressure valve releasing. You are metabolizing the experiences you previously swallowed whole. It requires courage to face these waves, but remember, feelings are visitors, not residents. They will come, wash over you, and then leave if you let them. The monster in the closet is never as scary as you imagine it to be while the door is locked.
The ultimate cure lies in decoupling your self-worth from your productivity. You are a human being, not a human doing. Your value is inherent. It does not fluctuate based on how many items you check off a list today. When you realize this, rest changes from being a source of guilt into a source of nourishment. You stop resting so that you can work more and start resting because you exist and you deserve to be restored. You begin to protect your peace as fiercely as you used to protect your schedule.
Ironically, when you stop trying to be so busy, you often become more effective. Creativity is a shy animal. It does not come out when there is constant noise and pressure. It requires the open pastures of a quiet mind. When you stop running from yourself, you gain access to deeper insights, more authentic ideas, and a profound sense of clarity. The energy you used to waste on suppression is now available for creation. You move from a state of frantic reaction to a state of deliberate creation.
Going forward,
You must build a sanctuary within yourself. This means setting boundaries, not just with others, but with your own mind. It means consciously choosing periods of unproductive time. It means learning to say no to opportunities that clutter your soul, even if they pad your bank account. It is a daily practice of choosing presence over distraction. It is the commitment to inhabit your life fully, including the messy, quiet, and boring parts, rather than fast-forwarding through them.
The cost of staying busy is the loss of your own life. You might achieve great things, but you won't be there to experience them. You'll be a ghost in your own machine. So, take a breath. Put down the distraction. Face the silence. Whatever is waiting for you in the dark is not there to hurt you. It is there to be healed. You don't need to earn your right to exist. You are enough, just as you are, in the stillness. Stop running. Start living.